In July 2014, the idea of a European Capital Markets Union was revived by the current President of the European Commission, Jean-Claude Juncker, and was all in all positively received by stakeholders across the EU, although it remains to this day a concept under construction.
I think Mr. Mayor is absolutely right that we need to think about ways of making it easier for individual retail investors to invest, as well as making it more attractive for institutional investors. To do that, I think retail investors need to have the confidence to know that they can invest and that there are products in which they can trust. But I think if we can find ways of putting the many trillions of euros of savings that there are in Europe to better work, so that they can be invested in projects that will support businesses to grow, SMEs in particular. I think it would be good for the investors to have more opportunities for savings, and it would be good for those businesses to have more options for funding.
The aim is to establish a genuine single capital market in the EU, where investors are able to invest their funds without hindrance across borders, and businesses can raise the required funds from a diverse range of sources, irrespective of their location.
I think in the consultation paper today, that perspective is really lacking. So, for example, how are we going to attract retail investment back to the market, back to capital markets? One of the proposals that I've made was to really look at developing a pan-European pension savings product, which is really necessary. It allows for creation of a pool of capital, which we allow to invest long-term. It will also enhance labor mobility in Europe, so I think it will be a good proposal to take on board in the Capital Markets Union.
I mean, you don't go in a supermarket and buy dangerous products. You buy products because they are classified. What's on the tin is what you buy, and if that is not the case, there are very heavy penalties for those who try to sell polluted food. So we've got to have the same theory and practice in the financial services industry. People have got to know what they're buying, understand it, and then consume it. And that is not the case today.
The Capital Markets Union should help bridge the gap between finance and the real economy, and help restore financial markets' primary purpose of supporting and servicing the real economy.
When a bank tries to evaluate who is worth to get a credit, it is understandable that this includes a cost. While when you have, say, a fund investing in shares and you demand from a consumer 1.5% of fees per year of the fund, then this is simply a form of organized robbery. And I think our task here is to end this form of organized robbery.
It's all about addressing what is in reality a market failure. People want to invest. They want to have better returns than the returns that they have on saving accounts in banks that are very low in the low rate environment that we know. But they don't want to take excessive risks. And when you're an individual saver, having a high returns or higher returns means taking risks, and that can be pretty bad. So we need to be able to address that market failure by providing for the missing link in the middle, which is exactly this. I mean, a structured solution that allows to direct your investment together with others in a pool that mitigates risk.
For the Capital Markets Union to succeed, individual investors and savers should be at the heart of the project. As stated by the European Commission itself, EU households are the main source of long-term financing for the real economy.
So I think there's a very serious problem about how do we rebuild trust. And here's my final point, and this won't please everybody. For those who missell products deliberately to older people, younger people, middle-aged people, or whoever, it should be jail. Jail. I am tired of listening to people's lives being ruined by deliberate mis-selling of products.
or misperception of risk, that is the problem, because people have put their money in certain products that were presented that are almost risk-free, and then they ended up losing their savings, and this is very traumatic. I think we have got to organize a product, long-term, standardized, guaranteed, on which people know what they can expect from it and that they can trust.
So like you, I know that Capital Markets Union won't work unless it works for those individual savers and investors. So effective consumer and investor protection will need to be at the heart of the Capital Markets Union.
Despite this recognition, many claim that savers and individual investors are not natural participants in a capital markets union. Whereas this couldn't be further from the truth, they run the risk of being sidelined and dismissed by the future architects of the CMU as being too risk-averse and short-termist.
I think the Federation of European Securities Exchanges strongly believes that we need much more direct retail investor participation. Already today, exchanges are the transparent and fair marketplace that is neutral and provides good price formation. And I think we want to increase that accessibility for retail investors. We believe it's very crucial to increase investor education, investor literacy, and I think to enable more direct investment into productive capital.